Awesome sauce. Okay. Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. Today we're just going to dive right into the nitty gritty of this. I've got to just adjust my screen so I can see it a little better and see all y'all's faces, beautiful faces. But we're going to talk today. I haven't talked a lot about the vital mother of pearl. This thing keeps moving on me. Stay over there. There it is. I haven't talked about the vital behaviors and the basics in a while in terms of when we use our tracker. And last month in March, we kicked off a new format of coach mentorship, revamped the entire new coach handbook, and we're walking hand in hand with our newer / maybe not so consistent coaches in the basics of this business. And walking through that basics last month was so eye-opening for me, because when I'm in a mentorship pod like that with people who are learning the very foundation of this business, I'm in the trenches. I'm also there doing the basics myself. And so it's just been super eye-opening to me of things that maybe I take for granted sometimes when I'm just in my workflow. Tracker, let's have like honesty hour. Who here has trackers that they use every day or most days of the week currently in their business? Or tell me, are you like Brittany when she started her journey and you might need to like go find it on a shelf and dust it off? Tell us in the chat, which one are you? You need to dust off homegirl, your old tracker, or you have them on your desk every day, sitting down when you work. It doesn't matter which one you are. I just kind of want to do a survey, dust it off, have it in front of me, use my spiral bound ones each day. Always on my desk, but not good at checking them off. So a little in the middle, Annie, have mine out and using, not consistent with tracking, but it's on my desk, dust it off. So I hope you see that you're in good company. Okay. You guys are in good company, because we have people who they have it. It's literally in front of them, but not using it. That was me when I started my journey. And when I had, my Insanity DVDs, they were sitting on the shelf. And here's the thing, you're here for a reason. There's something about coaching that you love. There's an idea about coaching that you love. But that tracker, who here, raise your hand. I want to see a big raise of hand. Who here loves the tracker? Like, you live for your tracker. Is there anybody that, like, Leah lives for her tracker? You know what? And Leah's been pretty consistent with Success Club in 2022. Can I get a hey-o? Yeah, okay, hello, thank you, raise that roof. Caught Ashley and Leah back on the first screen with that, scrolling through. That was funny. Yeah, so here's the thing. 99.9% of you, unless you're a freak like Leah, you don't love your tracker. Why? Because those are the unsexy parts of coaching. And I titled tonight, Fall in Love with the Basics, because I thought if I title it Fall in Love with the Unsexy Parts of Coaching, nobody would show up. And so tricked ya. We're actually talking about like the really unsexy stuff tonight. Okay. So here we go. Guys, there's two parts of coaching. And I had this like big aha epiphany. We started some one-on-ones in Q2 as we're pushing for Summit. And so I'm walking hand in hand with a lot of coaches on our team right now, one by one, week after week, talking about their current goals and really talking about the actions to get there. And I told all of them last week, and if I haven't had a one-on-one with you yet, if it's this week, like we're on an every other week thing, you'll hear me say it, but we're not going to fix or cure or hit a goal in week 1 together. It probably won't happen in week 2. And if it does, we have to set bigger goals. What we will do is we'll walk on a journey together for the next 3 months and really inch closer to those goals, because we'll be taking action. But here's the thing. I had this epiphany as I was like doing these one-on-ones last week, and we have a book that we're reading, and there's 2 parts of coaching. And the part of coaching that I think you love is the idea of coaching. It's like the people, right? It's your bod group community. It's getting client results. It's creating content for your challenge group. And then, having those fun graphics, or, maybe you love making meal plans or sharing the meal plans. For me, I love making those things. I could spend 8 hours a day coaching, like working on coaching. Also, the other part of coaching is like your coach community. If you have a downline of any capacity, even if it's 1, that means you have a coach community to take care of. And your job is to help them duplicate the things you're doing, whether that is in the foundation of your own journey and they're learning how to duplicate that for their journey, or is it an exchange of a skill set that you've mastered, like you mastered how to get on team calls and now you're teaching your people how to do that, right? There's that part of coaching. And then the other part of coaching that I think, if you're on this call tonight, you absolutely love is the professional growth and skill building that you find when you get on calls like this or the National Wake Up Call or come to things like Summit, right? But none of those things on the right hand get a paycheck. They help a paycheck, but they are not the paycheck. The business of coaching is on the left, and that's what we're going to break down tonight. That is the unsexy part, and that's why your trackers are collecting dust and need to be dusted off this week and put to use. Deal? Like my whole battle cry when you get off this call is that you are falling in love with showing up to do the basics, because if you do not do those basics, you cannot have those things you actually really love to do, which is coaching. You can't coach if you don't have a business. So we're going to break that down tonight. So the first part of the business of coaching is your journey. It's really simple. It's 3 things. You guys, if somebody ever asks you, I don't know what a coach does. What does a coach do? You don't have to word vomit. You say, oh my gosh, it's so simple. Put your fingers up, you guys. It's 3 things. You're going to practice this. It's 3 things. You're going to, 1, be on your journey. You're going to, 2, share your journey. And then the third thing is you help other people start their journey. That's coaching, right? So like next time somebody tells you, you're going to go, 1, you're on your journey. 2, you share your journey. 3, we help other people start our journey. Wash, rinse, repeat every day. And you just get better and better at it, right? That's the business of coaching. It's very simple. But tonight we're going to get a little nitty gritty and a little more complex, because that's how I would explain it to someone who has no clue about our community, who's never stepped foot on a team training, who doesn't know the lingo we know. But when you're talking to people about joining our team, remember, we have to, we've heard this before, talk like you're teaching your grandmother, right? 3 things: your journey, sharing it, helping other people. But your journey isn't just your journey. We're going to break this down. It's also the application of that new knowledge. So those of you who love hanging out over here in the skill building, professional growth, like you are a chronic Monday night coach, but by Tuesday, you don't actually do any of the things that Brittany so lovingly nudged you to do, right? We've all been there. It's the application of new knowledge and your personal growth. You should not be the same you that you were a year ago on a Monday night team call. Otherwise, what's going on in your journey? I want to see you grow and evolve. Okay. Sharing your journey also means being a consistent presence on social media. If you need a recap of how to do that, the entire month of November, I broke that down 100% clear as freaking crystal, right? But it's being consistent presence. And we'll talk about that a little tonight. And then the building of relationships to invite others to start their own journey. Okay, so let's dive in. Your journey is your job. Most of you love this, but I'm going to gut check you tonight a little bit, because I think when we say your journey is your job and you're like, well, I know that that's the basics of the business and I actually love showing up on my journey. Do you? Let's do a little inventory, because your job is to get results. And some of you, when I inventoried and asked, have you actually been meal planning every week? When we first started Gut Protocol, I said, have you guys actually been making dinners and meal planning and focusing on nutrition? And the majority of our team, coaches like us, y'all, the answer was no. This was such a foreign concept. Your job isn't to just get results with a fitness program. That doesn't mean you have to follow a nutrition plan to a T, but that means that your job is to get results and know your body when it comes to food you put in it, which is not necessarily going to look like Autumn's portion fix, but it might have to for a season so that you can learn the ins and outs of it. Your job getting results builds credibility, trust, confidence. In this business, it's based around this one thing. So if you're not getting results, and again, I know I've got 3 ladies on here who are beautifully about to pop, right? I'm not you have to understand that the journey is not just a small season, right? And results are not just physically based of expanding and contracting. Yeah. Your mindset, is that getting results? right? Are you getting results because you're understanding better foods to eat in the kitchen and swap that out? Your journey being your job, you probably joined after watching your coach show up day after day after day. Your people are no different. You are no different. You're not a unicorn. You have to show up relentlessly. But again, I think we're really great at showing up and winning the morning and pressing play. I don't think that's the journey. That's just a tiny fraction of it. That's like the person that says, I just want Beachbody on demand. I'm doing you a disservice. So tonight, I'm doing you a disservice if I tell you that your journey is simply pressing play on 9-week Control Freak and finishing the program. That's amazing. That's only a piece. There's the nutritional aspect, there's the community aspect, and there's the mindset aspect. There's also the growth and the getting results as a coach. So I didn't write this down, but I just kind of thought of it that like, if you're not getting results as a coach, meaning you're not rank advancing, you're not growing a team, like your people don't see you getting wins, that's not helping your credibility as a coach. The reason that I continue to build trust and credibility with people is because they also simultaneously see my team growing and expanding and doing amazing things, right? And you don't have to wait till you get to some like place to be able to start advertising that. You can cheer for your people right where they are. The other thing that I want you to think about is like, how do you replace things? Do you have something in your life that Beachbody offers that you've never tried or replaced? For example, hydrate. Like I will never buy Gatorade or Powerade at the store ever. Why? Beachbody offers it. And it's a chance for me to replace something that Beachbody offers. Anytime you have a chance to try something, it's a chance for you to gain confidence in what we have. So if you've never tried, I say this all the time, but you have to do a supplement inventory. You have to do a supplement inventory because we get so stuck in our ways sometimes that, can you speak about every flavor of Shakeology from personal experience? Can you speak about whey versus vegan? Same thing with Recover. Have you ever tried the vegan Recover? It's a different texture. It doesn't actually make brownie batter the way that the whey does. So when my people see me make brownie batter, that's actually a whey product. And so, but I know that because I've had both and I've tried it with both and failed. Yeah. Every chance you have to try something new, do it. That's just my battle cry for you. Your journey, like I said, is not only physical, it's a growth journey, spiritual journey. How are you evolving as a human? Because this is important. It does start with workouts and energize, but it's way bigger than workouts and energize. So we can't stop there. So if you're in a funk and you're like, okay, I'm not getting results, or I just feel like my journey, I'm kind of in a funk. These are some places that I spot check. Are you posting and talking about your journey with excitement and energy? A lot of you are right now because you're doing gut protocol. And anytime we do a test group together, there's always energy and excitement around that. But just imagine for a second that we're, a month away and you're in between the gut protocol launch and the Fire and Flow launch, and you're kind of like in that middle ground. Do you still have energy and excitement for what you're doing in your journey in those like middle seasons, right? Between the launches is really specifically what I'm thinking of. And if not, fix it. Figure out a way to be excited. Are you reading something that causes you to want to share it? You guys, every morning when I'm soaking in my personal development, I am like looking for that one golden nugget that I have to share. Every morning. Are you looking for that one liner that you have to share because people need to read that too? If not, fix it. Are you waking up excited about your life? If not, fix it. I wasn't excited about my life when I was in the classroom, but I left the classroom and I was excited to come home and do Beachbody. So I was fixing it. So I'm not saying that you have to love every hour of every day about everything you do, but if Beachbody is not an escape for you to be excited and enthusiastic, fix it, right? I hear coaches say this a lot, and obviously this is none of you guys on here because you're here right now, but I hear people say this, and if you ever hear someone on your downline say this is just like me pouring some leadership 101 onto you, but when people say, I'm going to take a step back, I want you to like really think about that for a second. If your customers tell you, I just need to take a step back, things are really busy, or a coach tells you that, I need to take a step back. This business is built upon taking care of yourself and being around other people who are also doing that. So if you're taking a step back, I feel like you're undoing the things that are good for you, right? So instead, I feel like those are the moments when we feel like taking a step back. We have to lean in heavier to taking care of ourselves, lean in more to being surrounded by people who are doing that same thing and moving in a direction that you desire. Step up your business instead of giving yourself an out, because what I think is taking a step back, to me, is always an excuse for someone to hide and retreat. I've never seen somebody take a step back and flourish because they're isolated and no longer showing up on their fitness journey, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beauty of this business, is this is a self-care, personal growth business, like wrapped up with network marketing, you know? It's so cool. So your journey is your job. But again, it's not just the workouts. So a little note on your journey. This is the personal growth aspect as well, because one of your vital behaviors is personal development. Yeah. It's not just the acquiring of personal growth, because we can read a lot of books, we can get on a lot of trainings, but if you don't actually go and apply the new knowledge you're acquiring, that's oftentimes when we get stuck on our journey. Okay. I promise you that things that are holding you back right now in your business, like, let's take an intermission. Let me open up the chat. Tell me something right now, like a limiting belief that you know you have about coaching or about your business or about you as a, you know, building this business. What's something you tend to tell yourself, or, and you know, it's a stinking lie. Let's just put them out in the light. My biggest limiting belief for me while you guys are writing is like the idea of like being enough. Like, I'm not enough. So I always feel like I have to do more and more and more. And then I burn out. I'm not capable. I feel like I need drastic physical results to inspire others. I can't build a team because I don't know how to lead. Don't leave these girls hanging, y'all. No one wants to join me. And I'm sure that as I'm reading these, you're hearing yourself probably say some of those like crossovers, right? Where like, oh, I have said that too. I'm not a leader who would trust me to help them. I can't be a leader. You guys, the way I see it right now, the 12 of us that are on this beautiful call together tonight, you are my leaders. You are the people I count on. You're an example. People are not going to join me because I'm too fit or it looks easy for me. See, and there's opposite ends of that spectrum, my friends. There's the spectrum side where it's like, no one wants to join me because I'm not like coach looking material. Like, I don't look fit and athletic. But then there's the other side of the spectrum where it's like, I'm not relatable because I already love workouts. I already am in shape. I already have abs. So why would somebody want help from me? Because maybe they can't relate to me, right? Both ends of the spectrum exist. Don't know how to get people results. I cannot grow a team because they will see me mess up. I don't know how to build or lead my biz. And I'm sure there's more stuff dropping, but guys, all those things that you're saying, if you just replace Beachbody, it's also holding you back somewhere in your life. Those things will not go away. The beautiful part, or brutal part, I guess you could say, is that Beachbody, like, it's like a big giant mirror that you stare in every day because you're always focused on growth. And as you grow, you'll always be peeling back layers. But I promise you, as you peel back those layers, you're always going to encounter and like uncover that same sticking point or that same limiting belief, maybe just in a different outfit. But it's going to be there, right? So my thing for you is that your journey is about personal growth as well and applying that knowledge. And we have to just get over those things that we're telling ourselves, like, no one wants to join me. If you allow no one wants to join me, or I'm not a leader, or what were some of these other, I don't have a good enough transformation. If you allow that to be the thing that stops you, it just breaks my heart. Like, think about that for a second. Are you going to let that phrase be the thing that holds you back from this one precious life you have to go out and do amazing things? So dig into it, lean into that, lean into changing it, and it's not even changing it, because guys, what you're saying, by the way, it's never going to go away. I'm going to be like the one realist in your life. It's not going to go away. It's going to just come back sneaky, looking different until you actually look it in the face and start to change the narrative. But that takes actual work. And that's what we're talking about tonight, is falling in love with the work. If I could wave a magic wand in the chat right now, I'm going to wave a magic wand over your head, say everything you want in your entire life, your dream life. If you could close your eyes and envision right now, it's possible. Do you have an inner dialogue that gives you reasons why you can't? Yes or no in the chat. Do you have an inner dialogue that tells you, even after you vision cast, you goal set, yep, yes, yes, even after you set the last week, we talked about our Q1 or our whole year goals and how we did in Q1, and we really sat down and reflected. And if you missed that call last week, please go check that back out because it was so powerful. But even simultaneously, as we're doing that, there's that inner dialogue that's like, nope, can't do it. And I hope you see how good of company you're in that everyone said yes. So as much as like you guys are my special little unicorns, like you're not special when that comes to that, because we all have that. And so what separates the person that just goes after it anyway versus the person who gets stuck in that cycle and just never breaks free? It's the person who digs into it, leans into it. Write those fears and excuses down. Attack them like your dreams depend on them. And then being intentional with what and where you need to grow. So, if you feel like you need to grow in leadership, y'all, John Maxwell, he's got like 7 million books on leadership. He's a great one to read, but there's so many others. Is it Simon Sinek? I think he wrote Leaders Eat Last. It's so good. Like there are so many books on leadership that you can't let I'm not a good leader hold you back. And the same idea, people don't want to join me. How to make friends and influence people. Is that the title of the book? It's something like that, right? But like there are books out there of like how you become a people type person that people are attracted to. So be intentional with where that growth needs to occur. Guys, when your mindset shifts, that's when everything else will happen. So I know that we said our trackers were a little dusty. And so part of me is like, maybe if I surveyed the masses and said, why do you think you're not hitting Success Club? I think it would have to do with the dusty tracker, right? Yeah. But I also think that your tracker is dusty because your mindset sucks because you don't think you can do it. There, I said it. You don't get your tracker out every day and get excited about doing the unsexy parts of this business because you're so scared to death that what if someone actually joins you? Or you're scared to death that what if no one says anything? Or you're scared to death that Susie's going to say no. I don't know what's holding you back, but you do. And you can either allow it to hold you back or you can be on your journey because it's your job. You're going to grow through it or not. Let's talk about sharing your journey. Yeah, this is social media, obviously, right? And I'm not going to do a social media month right now, but I am going to just like give us a couple little gut checks because the magic of this business is that we openly share our growth journey out loud for others to see. Notice I didn't say we openly share our 21-day fix for others to see. We openly share our morning workout for others to see. I hope this broken record of me saying like, please stop only sharing your workout clips is like, I hope a light bulb's going off right now. That is you have to share your growth journey, which is you, it's your life, it's everything that's happening. Open your Instagram profile right now. Everybody, I'm giving you permission, get on your phone, open up Instagram. Don't do anything other than pass go and go straight to your own profile, please. To your profile. And I want you to go down and find your March content, figure out where like March started. Might take a second. Okay, that's March 15th. I got to go down. February 28th. Perfect. So I found where my March started. Did you guys find where your first post in March started? Okay. And then exit out of that. You know where it's at on the grid now. Yeah. Actually, don't exit out. You can just scroll up because you're going to want to see the dates. So I want you to count right now on your own. How many posts did you make in March? How many in March? Drop it in the chat. How many posts? Give me a number, any number. All right, you can already see, you guys, I'll put mine in 23. You can already see in the chat, not enough. We know this. We know this. How about April so far? So go where you left off. So find your April 1st, count how many in April and tell us how many in April so far. And I want to remind you guys, it's the 11th. Yeah. So if like it's 11 days into the month and you're a coach and you've posted only a number that you can count on one hand, it's not enough. If your business is in its beginning growth stages, you guys, March should have been 31 for 31. April should be 11 for 11. In your very beginning growth stages, shoot, post more than once. Post a post in the morning, a post in the evening, because you never know. Maybe your morning people don't get on in the evening, and maybe your evening people aren't morning people. And so you're trying to get a different audience, right? If you are in the beginning growth stages of your business, man, oh man, I should see fire and hunger coming off your freaking social media, because you have to work extra hard to get people to pay attention to what you're doing and to acknowledge like, she like is doing this thing, right? If your business is like a consistent and steady, which again, and when I say consistent and steady, I'm talking about like my Success Club All-Stars. Like that's where I'm at with that. Like people who have hit Success Club for like 12 months in a row. Yeah. Which isn't a lot of people on our team yet. Okay. That you should still be around 20 posts for a month. Yeah. Because if you think about it, that's only like 5 posts a week, right? So I'm giving us this solid gut check about sharing our journey because we're overthinking it. We're overthinking it, and you're sucking the fun out of it, y'all. Tonight's call is about falling in love with the unsexy parts of coaching. And you have to find a way. I can't figure out for you what you love about posting, but you can figure that out. You can figure that out. And here's the thing. If you don't know what to post about and you've been a coach longer than 3 months, I know one of 2 things. You're either really uninspired about your journey, and then let's go back to here, yeah, and think about like our journey as a whole. You're either really uninspired, so fix it, or you're not being coachable right now. Stop being stubborn, stop holding back. You guys, far less creative people than you guys are making it happen right now. There are some coaches right now who are like number 20 in the network. I don't know. I hope the 20th coach is not watching this on playback and she's like, she's talking about me. I have no idea. I don't know who is 20, and I could care less who's 20. What I'm trying to say is there are people who are in the top 100 of this business who have no business being in the top 100 of the business. They're far less creative than you. They're far less talented, but you know what they do? They post every freaking day. They invite every freaking day. Their trackers are not dusty. They're hungry. They're excited. You know what I'm saying? And so if you find yourself in this place where you're overthinking, just like you either have to map out exactly what you're going to say. And we did a call on that in November about how to exactly map out 7 days at a time, right? Using like a pretty consistent like pattern. Yes. Or you need to start really observing what other coaches not on our team are doing, successful coaches, and mimic their behavior until you have a voice for yourself. Not copy, but mimic. Because again, far less creative and talented people are making it happen. So why not you, right? Again, applied knowledge. So November's call seemed like really hot in the moment. And I keep going back to this because when we did those social media calls in November, man, you guys were on fire. And when we read the book a couple summers ago, when we read Kendra Hall's book, Stories That Stick, y'all were on fire. So if you need to go back and like get back to that knowledge and then go apply it, do that, right? But you'll have to do that. You have to apply it to make progress. You can't just get on these calls and like, oh, that sounds like a good social media post, and then overthink it or not do it, or I don't post because I don't have the right picture. Like, come on, y'all. We're grown freaking women in the year 2022. Like, when I was growing up, this kind of thing didn't exist. I truly know when I was growing up, I had a hard time coming up with a picture, right? You have a picture at your fingertip every second of every day. You've got filters that you can, like, you've got it all. So it's just overthinking and it's not serving you. Things that are inspiring me right now. You guys, on my stories, on my social, what you're going to see, my morning routine, it inspires me. I love it. You're going to keep seeing it. My current program, 645. I love 645. I'm excited about it. 645, you're going to see it. You're going to see gut-friendly recipes. I keep saying, here's my gut-friendly breakfast. Here's my gut-friendly dinner. And I'm talking about gut-friendly recipes. And I'm also excited about the new knowledge I'm learning and acquiring with gut protocol. So I'm going to share that outward. I am going to share that outward. Hey guys, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to share that outward. Stop holding on to knowledge, right? If you found a recipe you love from gut protocol, share it. But like, tell us something about gut health that you've learned, because guess what? Now you sound like an expert. You might not feel like an expert, but the person watching you is learning something. And now, she knows what she's talking about, right? And then as you get results and things like that, I'm excited about sharing the aftermath of 75 Hard, sisterhood wins I've caught, Grace and Frankie on their road trip, eating clean while traveling behind, and maybe not so clean, totally went to Nashville and heck yeah, I was going to find vegan, hot chicken. Yeah. Like I was like, I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm not trying to be stupid when I'm up in Nashville and eat gut protocol friendly. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get the real deal. Behind the scenes peeks at how I work this business while traveling. People need to see it, you know? I shared about the 60th Bash meetup, Charlie going to Europe to ride, my one-on-one meetings. You're going to be seeing that for the next few months as we push for summit, meal planning parties, meal planning ideas, recipe. That's what I'm excited about right now. And I'm inspired about it. So every time Grace does something super cute, I'm going to capture it. Every time I love my recipe, I'm going to capture it. Every time that like Charlie messages me from Europe, I'm going to capture it. I've had a couple capture moments from the sisterhood of like really awesome, like non-scale victory moments that they're having, and scale victory moments too, but really cool non-scale wins. And I've caught them. And so I'm going to share them. And what are you inspired and excited about? What are a couple of things? Drop it in the chat. What are you excited about? Okay, yes, Fixate does need a Nashville, but like, come on, vegan Nashville hot chicken. Help a sister out. I can't do chicken. That's the one, y'all. I can't go back. Books I love, yes. You guys, as you're writing this is how you build relationships. Because when you are sharing just genuinely the things you freaking love. I was out on a walk today, you guys, with the dogs, and this woman, she walked past me. She's like, oh my gosh, I love your leggings. Didn't miss a beat. I said, thank you. They're Fabletics. You should go get some. I don't get a kickback. You know what I'm saying? I just genuinely love sharing things that I love. I freaking love leopard print and cheetah. So it's like, yes, go get it, girl. Like you got to look fierce like this, right? Your kids, how I'm feeling with 4-week gut protocol, your parents on the journey, the personal development you're reading right now. Heck yeah. When I find a good PD book and I'm like, people need this every day, you're going to see lines, like 17 lines, you know what I'm saying? Flourless brownies. Okay. We need the recipe. Cheeto sisters. Yes. Katie's wedding. The fact that your husband's doing gut protocol with you and the results, like that's got to be screamed from the freaking mountaintops. I also want to just say, because y'all know Brittany's a realist, okay? Just because it inspires me and I'm excited about it, doesn't mean there won't be learning curves. Just because I was excited about Grace and Frankie on their road trip didn't mean that Grace would swallow a pill and I'd have to go get her little doggy stomach pumped overnight in the doggy yard, right? Like, but if I didn't share that Grace was in the emergency room, do you know how many missed opportunities for relationship building I would have lost? I know like when we are down, we don't, sometimes like, oh, I don't want to share the low moments. I just want to share the high moments. But it's the low moments that people get in your inbox and we have human dialogue. When people show that they genuinely care about you and you can go back and acknowledge how much it means to you that they showed that care and thought. That's human connection. But human connection does not happen, my friends, if you're only sharing a highlight reel. You've got to share it all. So just because I'm inspired by certain things doesn't mean that there's not going to be like ups and downs. So please like ride those waves and share it all. building relationships. This is our connect, invite, and follow up. But truly, you guys, it all comes down to building relationships. You cannot invite people that don't care about you or what you're doing. I mean, you can, but I'm certain that if you have had a track record of inviting people who truly, genuinely don't follow you or watch what you're doing, I'm sure you get what we like to call ghosted, right? And so when you're like, people are ghosting me, are they ghosting you, or are you just not building relationships? People don't reply to me too, and I truly hate the phrase ghosting. I want to vomit. I get like shingles. I get a little scratchy and itchy. Like, it just, my nerves go off when I hear that word, because to me, it sounds very victim. Like, oh, they don't want to come to my birthday party. Like, it sounds like that to me. When you're like, people are ghosting me. Are they? Do you really know? Did you talk to her? And she said, yeah, I was actually ghosting you. You're making assumptions when you say that. People are busy. I know that. So if you are having a hard time with invites, it's actually a bubble called building relationships. And there's three buckets of people. There's the people who never build relationships. You're on social, you post your stuff on social, and you're not connecting with other people unless they're people you're very comfortable with. And those people have either told you, no, I'm good, cheering you on from afar. They've already joined you, and you feel like, okay, now I've got nobody, or they're already part of our team in some capacity, right? When I'm talking about building relationships, I'm talking about people who are not part of this yet, right? There's the bucket of people who spam others and overdo it. Been there, done that in my life. And then there's those who master the art of authentic and confident connections. My friends, be bucket three. Be bucket three. If you get that tracker out and you do one thing tonight after this call's over, just go be kind on the internet. Everybody that loved your post from today, because remember, we're posting now, right? That's who we are. That's what we do. Everybody who loved your post today, go to their page and love all their posts that you haven't loved recently and give authentic comments. Everybody who watched your story today, go watch their story and get in their inbox, love on their stuff. That's how you build relationships. And this has to happen every single day. Again, if I go back to here, where I'm like, if your business is in its beginning growth stages, like, this is 100%. This is like team no days off, because you are building something that probably feels like pushing a boulder up a mountain. So it has to happen a lot to get the momentum. But if you are one of those consistent people, like a Success Club all-star, I'm still talking 5-6 days a week, right? Like, this isn't like, oh, I do it every once in a while. So how do I make building relationships fun? Because I'll be honest with you, this is a very unsexy part of the business. And if I had it my way, I'd be like, oh my God, I'd totally pay somebody to do that. But how do you pay somebody to like be you on the internet? You can't do that. Like, you can, it's called bots, and it doesn't work. Yeah. So, take it from me. I've spent a lot of money over the years on like failed attempts at things. And one of the things I did was I paid a third-party app a long time ago to build my Instagram for me. And it was always weird, because it would send auto messages to people, but like, I didn't actually send the message. So then when they replied or like didn't reply, or like I just wasn't aware of the conversations that I was having, and how like weird of a feeling would that be, right? So I had to nip that in the bud. So for me, I have to genuinely make it fun. So music on, I always make sure I got music pumping so that I'm like getting excited. Energize is essential, and not going at it solo. So I'm loving, I was teasing earlier, but I am so loving seeing you guys get on power hours together and all that stuff. The other thing is, you've just got to get started. If you've been on a Tuesday night power hour with us, sometimes we get on and we're like, it's been a day, right? Like, the last thing I want to do is go build relationships. But sometimes, just like your workout, you have to give yourself like 5 minutes, like just start. Right. And that's why it's so powerful getting on those calls on Tuesday, because you're forced to just start with us. Yeah. And then if after like 5, 10, 15 minutes, you're still like really not feeling it, you just move the needle for 15 minutes. Awesome. You can pack up. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of it that way, like if you just are having like a craptastic day, because I've totally been there, and you just can't get out of your funk, well, then you maybe stop. Maybe don't build relationships, maybe go get a book or do a workout or something like that. But getting started, I think, sometimes is the hardest part. So you have to have that set routine. You've heard me talk about past houses I've lived in and whatnot, where I like would set up a table in like the corner of the living room or whatever. I always had a location for my business, even in Miami. That same little corner IKEA desk that I took with me to California, that desk was in Miami, and I had it against a tiny wall, and that's where I sat to do my business. So when I got home from work and I knew it was time to do my business, that's where I went. It wasn't in front of the TV. It wasn't in my bed, like those sorts of things, right? I made a place. How can you make someone else's day? You have no idea what people are going through, right? And we get to be that light on the internet in a place where maybe someone isn't getting complimented. And that's the beautiful part, you guys. I can take it if someone, like if there's like an ugly troll on the internet that says something rude to me, and it's happened before, I can take it and brush it off, because like at this point, I could care less, right? Like say what you got to say. It doesn't sting so badly. But imagine if you didn't have this. Like imagine the person that's not a coach working on their mindset and working out every day, and in a community of loving, supportive women that are like empowering them to like do the dang thing, right? Imagine you didn't have that, and then somebody was rude to you on the internet today, and you hate your job, and you hate your like, right? Like imagine the pileup, and you're the one person that comes in their inbox and tells them that you love their new haircut, or you clap for them because they finally made it out to the gym and they got a membership in January and haven't used it yet. And you clap for them, even though it's a gym and you know they're not going to join you, you're still going to make somebody else's day, right? That's pretty powerful when you think about it. Happy birthday messages. Guys, I can't tell you how many people like over the years will be like, I can't believe you remembered me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't believe like, of course I remember you, and you never know. Like, and these are awesome ways to like rekindle relationships too. So Facebook is where it's at for that. Guys, I will not ever let a comment come into my atmosphere, like a comment on a picture, right? Not get a reply. If someone took the time to not only just see my picture, but read my post and heart it, and then take their 2 thumbs and type out a comment, that's a lot of work in 2022. The average like attention span, I think, is something like 2 seconds. That process of writing a comment breaks all of that rule, right? And so for somebody to like actually be like stopped in their tracks enough to make a comment, it's getting a reply. So make sure you're always replying to comments. Social media is social, so don't just simply watch, right? You got to be engaged. And then again, like I said, I'm so confident. I make it fun. I become so confident in myself. Back to here of my journey. My journey helps me gain so much confidence in myself. Turning this on and getting started and keeping that promise to myself builds so much confidence in me that I don't care what Karen thinks. I don't care, right? And then I get to like hug you guys in the flesh, and I get to like see you guys show up for me virtually. And it reminds me that like, if you have something ugly to say, you just don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm at a point where I'm like, you just don't get it. So like, I'm sorry for you. So let's talk about the fun stuff, because that's all the business of coaching. Coaching is the fun stuff. Here's the thing though. You have no one to help if you don't master the business of coaching. I've been in this business for a while, and I still use a tracker every day, you guys. I don't necessarily check off every box, because not every box has to be checked off every day, because I am the CEO of the direction of my business. And some days I'm like, I need to really invite today. And other days I'm like, okay, it's a season of connecting. And so I might pick and choose, but there's a mindfulness to that, right? And I've mastered the business of coaching. So I know how to do that. You might still be like, on a like appetizer, like sampler platter, where you need to do a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not like really comfortable with like just one thing. So you need to just keep doing bite-sized chunks of everything. But if you have no one to help, coaching is the prize. And you're not a coach if you don't have clients. And I know you started this. Everyone has a different start story of why you truly started this, but you started this, like coming onto this, because somewhere in your heart, you want to help someone else. So you have to fall in love with the business of coaching, and then coaching, the thing that you want to do and love, flows from that. And my friends, it's fun when you have people. It's fun when you have people. And I was so hungry that I was like, I'm not stopping till I have a team, because I know that I've seen people who have teams, and I'm not stopping till I have a team. And so I just kept going, even when I didn't have a big team, even when I was at Summit by myself, like in those times, it wasn't fun yet. But I knew that if I put my head down and did the things that were unsexy, I would be able to get to that prize. So coaching others, coaching your clients, coaching your team, professional development, that sort of stuff, that builds depth in your business. It's important, right? Like it's so important that we don't just check the boxes of the tracker, but that we actually do walk hand in hand with our people, because when they come through that door, that's when our job starts, right? We want lifers and the energy, and they're out there, but you create them with how you coach them. And I want you to hear that again. We don't find clients. We don't find coaches. That's the number one question I get in one-on-ones. How do I find people? You don't find anyone. You create coaches. You create people who love showing up and do their workouts. You guys, Jen, who was here yesterday, she's in the sisterhood. She's a spin sister. She's just she freaking loves it. She's loving Beachbody and her experience right now. And she was one of those people that just watched me for a very long time and wouldn't answer me when I spoke to her and all this stuff, right? And she isn't somebody that came in and Brittany, I just want to join Beachbody and I just want to join this. She didn't come to me like that. I went to her and I created and pulled the love out of her for her journey. That's what we do. We create people who fall in love with this. Because otherwise, if you bring people in and you feel like it's always a revolving door, yeah, I brought 2 customers in last month, but now they're really disengaged. They're disengaged because there's lacking energy and you're lacking lifers, because maybe you're lacking the creation process of pulling that out of people. For me, my big goal is to get somebody to love their results so much that they have no choice but to be present in the sisterhood. And essentially the prize at the top would be to join our team, right? And that's my true goal with somebody. When they join the sisterhood, I want to take them on that full journey. Now, does everybody? No, not at all. But I'm constantly seeking opportunities to do that. So I spend intentional time mentoring and supporting this team. I have intentional time pouring into my clients, building a team, training your team, one-on-ones, hosting meetups. These are all just ideas for how you get people to become lifers. Meetups, events, team building opportunities. You guys, back in the day, I would do hikes. I would every first Saturday, we'd go on a hike. I did a pumpkin carving thing. I did cookie making at the holidays, a cookie swap, any chance I could get. You guys, when the gals came into the house yesterday, it wasn't there's Brittany. You know who they were excited to see? Not my brother, not my mom, Frankie. Yeah. Why? Because that's the lifers. You know what I'm saying? You become such a lifer that, oh, that's just Brittany. But Frankie, I get to see, and y'all, when you came to Summit, that's what you cared about more than seeing me, right? Getting in my house and getting to play with Frankie. But that's the glue. That's how you know that people that you've made a difference in people's lives. Also, that they even know the name of your dog because you've been open and you share about it all the time, right? Knowing your people's goals, their dreams, and then being the kind of person who pushes them to achieve it. I've said this before, but we're coaches. And not everything that comes out of my mouth is going to be rainbows and butterflies. I'm sure I gave some gut checks tonight where oh gosh, Britt, really? But I was walking before this call with my nephew, and we walked over to the little playground here, and there was a lacrosse team playing, and their practice just finished. They were on the field, and they finished, and they were packing up, and one of the high school kids was walking away, and all of a sudden I heard his coach yell and called him back. He's like, we're not done yet. Get over here. Da, da, da. And like, that's how I feel sometimes. When you like turn away and kind of walk away or retreat back, I feel like yelling at you, like, get back here. We're not done yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm a coach. And if you tell me your goals and you tell me your dreams and we haven't done it yet, we got work to do. And I'm going to push you. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to make sure that you have fun with me. But I want you to achieve the things that you want to achieve, right? So let's do a little checklist inventory. There's 15. This is just yes or no. Okay. I'm going to read them off and you can just tally somewhere your yeses and tally your nos. Okay. Are you being proof the products work? All of that. Is your status still active? And do you even know that? Like, if you had to say, I'm not sure, then you get a big fat no. Let's just be real, right? Leah, come on. Leah, do you agree with me that if you don't know if you're active or not, you get a no? Yeah, because Leah's the queen of being in the Coach Online office every day. Like, she's like, come on now. Okay, number 3, are you currently receiving a monthly subscription? Do you have Home Direct going of something? Shakeology, Performance Stack, Go and Glow. Beachbody on demand doesn't count because that's annual. Okay, have you completed a program from start to finish this year? And yes, you have had time. Do you listen to the National Wake Up Call each week? And let's get even deeper. Did you listen to it today? It's Monday. Have you listened to the National Wake Up Call today? You guys can answer this however you want. I mean, you're obviously on team call tonight, but do you say you're on team calls or have you been kind of retreated a little bit? Last week was super low and it was such a good call. So please go back and listen. But man, like, I was like, where's our team? Are you registered for Summit? Are you planning to attend the next Super Saturday or Super Weekend, which is the weekend after Easter? Have you already looked, searched, found the one nearest you? And if there isn't one near you, what are you going to do to make sure you get that content? Are you going to host a virtual one for the team? What are you going to do, right? Can you verbalize why you want to, like, what can you verbalize why you want to build the dream you want to build? Can you verbalize why you want to hit Success Club? Can you verbalize why you want to grow a team? Can you verbalize, like, I don't know, you're blank, but what's that thing that's on your heart right now that you're working on? Why you want to be at NLC? Why do you want to be 5-star? Can you verbalize it? Are you showing up daily on social media? Are you posting on purpose with strategy? Did you hit Success Club last month? Did you finish a personal development book last month? Have you successfully implemented a tip, a tool, strategy from a recent training, whether it is one you found, one from us, or a National Wake Up Call? Are you actively engaged with everyone on your team? And that doesn't mean, are they actively engaging back with you? Remember, hear what's going on, right? Are you actively engaged with them? Okay. Let's tally it up. Numbers in the chat. 1 through 15, or 0 to 15, I guess we should say. 0. Olivia, we love you. I know you love me. You're like, Frankie's the real MVP over here. Frankie's the one that really sells the challenge pack. Dang, look at all these 13s. 15. Okay. Kristen coming in hot. 9, 6. Y'all, I don't know if you noticed, but I've done this checklist before with you guys. Maybe some of you know because you're newer to the team or weren't part of this training when I did this, but this has been on a team training before. And I promise you, I was not seeing numbers like this. So I'm already going to give kudos to our team that there is growth happening and it looks good on you. So let's keep it up. Okay. We've got our numbers kind of in the chat. So let's look at what this looks like. If you're in the 0 to 5 range, okay. And I might even press some of you guys who are in the 6 to 10. Okay. This builds on this. Anything that's in the 0 to 5, everyone should be doing this. Okay. this is the person, this is kind of like, I'm talking about it, but I'm not walking about it. You know what I mean? So you might want to coach others. That's the fun part. That's the shiny part, but you're not taking the necessary actions, the business side of coaching, to follow that vision. So my advice for anybody who scored 0 to 5 is commit to daily guided power hours. You can find them on YouTube. You can find a plethora in our team resources. And I just made a Google Drive and there's ones in there as well. And just commit to completing your tracker every day. Get hungry about it. Get excited about it. No one can get excited for you. You know what I'm saying? 6 to 10, obviously you're going to want to continue doing guided power hours, right? And completing your tracker, but become consistent. So really hone in on what are the things that you're doing really well. Maybe you're like, okay, I've gotten really good at my morning routine and winning the morning and my journey, but I really started this month with nutrition, but maybe an area I can improve on is, you know, I really feel like I'm struggling in leadership. And so I'm going to really dig into leadership, right? Like make a plan, focus on filling in the gaps, and then keep taking action on that business side. The results will come. If you're an 11 to 15er, there's always room to level up. Yeah. Even if you scored a perfect 15, it's amazing. I'm constantly finding ways to level up and get better at my craft. So focus, excitement around new programs and launches. These are my people who, like, you should already be ahead of me right now thinking about fire and flow. You know what I'm saying? If you're an 11 to 15er, then I saw so many 13s already. Like, are you thinking about that? Are you already thinking about summit time and like, and lift more and all that, and like how that's like, that's where your brain should be, is on the big picture calendar of from launch to launch to launch, right? Find a success sister to run with if you don't have one yet. Schedule every live event, put summit retreats on your calendar. What events can you do to build your community, right? Create and commit to a posting and marketing strategy. Continue to foster professional growth in yourself. And my friends who are up in that range, I don't just mean a book. Is there an event you can go to? It's always fun when I do my taxes. I don't even know why I just said that. Who am I? It's not fun when I do my taxes, but it's always fun to see, because I always forget like what events I did, because a lot of times I book like virtual events, right? And so when I went back, I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot I did this like Jamie Kern Lima event last spring, and it was so fun, and it was like virtual, but like, yeah. And so like, are there events that you can get to or get online with to surround yourself with other growth-minded professionals? So get it beyond the book. The books are great, but if you're in my 11 to 15 range, you've got to get to more events that build you as a professional. Creating enthusiasm around joining your team. I talked with some leaders last week on our one-on-ones about this, that we have our team, but you've got to build your team. Why do people want to join your team? You are a leader. So lead, because it can't stop with you.